Welcome back. In this video, we will learn how to apply some parameters to our SQL query. Now, why might we want to do this? Well, parameters are a really useful addition to add flexibility to our queries, especially in systems where we might have visualizations, for example, presented to the end user. This allows end users to control the input to see the results of the parameters effect. Now, when applying parameters with KX SQL, it does require some knowledge and awareness of the queue syntax, particularly related to data types. So let's first look at an example where we have two filters on our table, one for vendor and one for fare. These filters are hard-coded and static. So let's say we want to make the query flexible so the end user can decide which vendor to filter on and what fare value is going to be the limit. So we need to do a few things. The first one is to switch out .s.e for .s.sp. The second one is to use square brackets around the query. And this is where things start to look more like Q and less like SQL. The third change we need to make is to pass the parameters at the end of the closing square bracket. And this is very important to note because the values here are Q data types rather than SQL as we had before. Now we've included some helpful links here. So first of all, we have a list of the full KX SQL data types supported. So by going there, we can see a varchar as a symbol. Then we can head to the second link, which brings us to all our KX data types. And this is helpful syntax. So if I look at simple, I know it's defined with a backtick in front of the word. If you would like to do a deeper dive into KX data types, you can also check out the Academy course linked here for further learning. Now, the fourth and final thing to replace is your parameters with the $sign and a number, where 1 is the first one passed, second one, the second one passed, and so on. Now, once this is done, you can run your new parameterized version of the query and you get the same results returned as before. So hopefully you can see how this can be used in, say, a visualization tool, letting the end user edit the parameters and change the resulting data set. Now, that example was one where we had multiple parameters. There is one more Q syntax-like consideration that we need to be aware of, and that's specifically when you're only passing one parameter. This nuance is really important as .s.sp expects a list of values as its input. So to get around this, we use the word enlist in Q when we need to convert a single item into a single item list. In our example, let's say we only want to keep the constraint on fare. So if we try that first without enlist, we get an error of rank stating invalid parameter count. And that's a hint that there's something wrong with the amount of parameters that we're passing to the function. Now, if we add enlist in front of the value, that's worked. So I'm aware that this might be a new concept for some of you, so definitely head to the link provided here for further reading on enlist. Okay, quiz time again. Now you can head over to the quiz to test your understanding of applying parameters. And I'll see you in the next video where we'll be looking at how we can do some pre-parse optimization.